Hi Silhouetters, it's Debbie, and today I wanted to make another video showing you how to use some of those store-bought shapes that you already have, some of them even came free, into another type of cutting file or design. So what I'm going to start out with is I'm going to go over here to my library and I'm going to select this frame. And now I'm just going to do this real quick because you can see this is not a compound path yet because it's in all these different pieces. So I'm going to hit undo so I can get them back together. Select this entire shape, right click, and select make compound path. Now I'm going to go ahead and shrink this down to make my design. And I'm just going to zoom in real closely so you can see this better. I select this and I'm going to go to the replicate window and I'm going to rotate this 3 times. Okay, now I'm going to take this out just a little bit and I'm going to select all of the rotations that I just made and go right down here to weld, and there we go, we have another design made from one of our shapes. I also did this with a flourish. Let me see if I go to flourishes and we'll select this one because this is the one I used before. I'm going to fit this to window. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to delete these because I'm just going to use this part right here and scoot this down just a little bit so I can weld it into here. Weld that. And we can do the same thing, just resize it. And then go back to your replicate tool and we'll do a mirror left and scoot these in together by using our arrow key so it'll weld nicely. And then I'm selecting both of those and I'm going to select mirror below, and this time I'm going to use the arrow keys to scoot them up so they will weld nicely. I'm going to move these over here to the middle so you can see them better, and we'll just zoom in a little bit to make sure I've got a good enough alignment for a weld to see what it's going to look like. Okay, now that I have that done, once again we're just going to go down here to weld. We can resize this and we can replicate it like a column of 4. I mean, we'll do a row of 4. And there's a couple of different ways to move these together, but for this design I'm just going to go back in 1, and so the next one will go back arrow 2, and so then the next one will go back arrow 3. And after selecting all of these, I'm going to weld them. So there we have another pretty little design made with our flourishes. Here is one that I made and I also cut it out, and I'll have a picture of that posted with this video of the one I test cut to see how nicely it would cut. And this is just another shape that I made with the same design by adding a few other elements, and I just simply added little bars going here. Let me show you. Okay, once I did the design for this one, and I'm going to blow that up so you can see it, I right clicked and I released the compound path, and I took this and I made a copy of it, and then I made this a compound path again, And I did an internal offset. Right click, made a compound path. I don't have the whole thing selected, so it won't do that. So now that I have them both selected, I can right click and make it a compound path. I'm going to move this in here and just resize it. And then just to make sure it's aligned, I'm going to hold down my shift key and select the original shape. And then I'm going to go to my align tool. And we're just going to align that center. And then the next thing I did is I just made some bars that fit the same size as this here. And I rotated it over. And I could make this a lot shorter. And I put one here, rotated one and put it here and on all these corners, and then I just simply welded it together. So that's what I came up with. Okay, now I wanted to, because one of my YouTube channel viewers asked me if I would cover this on my next video, so I'm going to add one more. And I probably have done this before, but I can't remember where the video is, and it's about the nesting tool. I'm going to just go ahead and do several shapes here, various sizes. And show what that nesting tool is all about. Okay, sometimes we'll go to cut and we try to figure out where to put these to get most out of our paper. So we'll scrunch them all together and we'll move them all around and everything. But we don't have to do that anymore with the new nesting feature. If you go up here to the capital N and you click on this, and then you select all of your shapes, and then you select nest, it will nest them nicely together to save you the most room on when you're cutting out any of your shapes. So what I had scattered all over the place, or what I thought was in the best position, this tool will do it for you. You don't have to move everything around any longer. Now I will say one thing I wanted to add to this. When I add registration marks, I thought it would make a difference. So, oops, wrong button. So I'm going to turn on my registration marks real quick to show you. So there they are. There's my registration marks. And I'm just going to move these down here. Now I can do that once they're nested and move them down below the registration marks. But if I had just selected the nesting feature, it moves them all the way up into the top corner, which will be out of the cut area. So when you nest and you want to do a print and cut, select them all and move them down, oops, and move them all down below the hash mark line and stay within your cutting area. So I'm going to go back here and whenever I do a print and cut, I always show both borders. I show the print border and the cut border, because this will show me also that I'm still out of bounds. So obviously I'm going to have to move one of these shapes somewhere else. So this is where the nesting tool doesn't come in quite as handy, but it does come in handy for other things that we do. So I hope this explained the nesting tool a little bit better, and I hope that you've learned how to create some new designs with your old designs and have lots of fun with them. And the reason why I did this is because there's a new die that's out, and there's that little thing popping up every time I make a video. They're dies, and what they do is they use them, they cut them out and they put them on top of wrapping paper to make like a design on the wrapping paper. They're really pretty. There's lacy designs, there's designs similar to this and everything. And I thought this would just be a fun thing to try with some of the shapes I already owned. And I hope you get to try it too. Have a great day, everyone. Bye now.